GCSE Accounting. In this video, we will talk about the use of and limitation of the trial balance. Basically, there are some pros and cons of using trial balance. The good thing about using it is an arithmetic check. So you can do some checking, which is before you posting it into the final financial statement. And by doing so, it's easier for you to prepare the financial statement. What is financial statement? It actually includes two, which is income statement and also financial position. Okay, and then what is the maybe not so good of having trial balance? Number one, it's time consuming. It will take out some of your time to prepare trial balance. And just let you know that even though we are doing trial balance in order to detect the error, but there are some errors actually it's not that easy to be detected from the trial balance too. Now we go through some of the examples. Okay, the type of errors, there are one type, which is it will affect the trial balance at the total, which means that in the trial balance, remember, at the total of it, the sum of it should be the same. So there are some error, which is very obvious that you can see the two debit and credit, the total is not the same. So it's not when it's not the same, is detected by the trial balance, and then you start to investigate what is the difference. But there are some errors actually, even though it's wrong, but the total of the trial balance is still the same. So what kind of errors will not affect directly to the total balance? Let's have a look. Okay, possible number one, which is commission. An error caused by transaction being entered into the wrong personal account. For example, this particular credit sales transaction, you want to debit into, let's say, Bobby account, but you accidentally post it to a trade receivable account, which is, let's say, Benson. So because you mistaken, you post into the wrong account. By doing so, the total of the trial balance still the same because it's the wrong account alone, which is in this case, this example is the trade receivable because it's a sales transaction. All right, this is possible number one. Possible number two is compensating, which means there are two or more errors being made affect to the debit and the credit columns in the trial balance, which is exactly the same amount, which is in both sides. So the total is still the same, but it's not correct. For example, there are some purchase, the sales value, let's say the price value that being recorded wrongly in the purchase and the sales. So maybe the person when do the bookkeeping and entry make the mistake of the price of the particular product. And then no matter in terms of sales account and also the purchase account, both also wrong. And because it's one debit, one credit, so when it's wrong, it's still the same. All right. Another possibility is complete reversal. A transaction that is entered into a correct account with the correct amount, but the entry is on the wrong side of debit and credit for both. So it will become, oh my God, it is correct in the total, but it's just the other way around. All right. There are people that maybe didn't notice this kind of error. For example, let me see what kind of example I can share with you. Debit columns of trial balance are same being a mistake. Okay, there is a credit sales, let's say, all right, and then is credited to one of the trade receivable, which is because it's a credit sales. And then instead of debit, you do the other way around, you go credit. And then when the cash is received, by right should be debit, you do credit. So it's totally the other way around. So it's so wrong for this kind of error. Okay, let's have a look of other possibility. Another possibility is omission. The entry needed for a transaction are not entered into the account totally. For example, you pay for the water bill, and then this water bill transaction, which is you pay, which is by right, you have to credit cash, debit expenses, which is water, and you totally forget. You totally didn't enter both, no matter these two account, both you don't. So the total trial balance is low because you forget about this particular transaction. So, but they still the same. They still the same. So you thought it's okay. So this is another possibility. The next one will be original entry. The entry are made in the correct doc accounts with the correct side of each account, but the amount entered is incorrect. Let's say we come back to the water bill method. Let's for example, you want to pay for the water bill for $20. Okay, and you miss press, and then you enter credit cash, which is 30 instead of 20, and then you do the same for the expenses account, which is water, which is 30 instead of 20. So both is the same, but still wrong because the amount is wrong, right? Lastly, which is principal, the correct amount are entered for a transaction, correct amount entered for the transaction. But the problem is, it's wrong type or class of the account. This example, for example, I'm not using the water again. Let's use another example, like for you are doing some maintenance service for your company's motorbike, and then the maintenance service is cost you, let's say, $300. All right, and then by right, this is an expenses, but you accidentally put it into the motorbike account. The asset itself is not the expenses. So the both side also debit, but the trial balance is still balanced, but at the end, actually is totally wrong type of account. So this one also, the trial balance total same, but at the end, the type of entry is wrong, is error, is mistake. Okay, so that's a few example of this. And then that's all for this particular topic. Shall there be any questions for me? You are welcome to put into the comment. Thank you. Bye.